Boo! Are you scared? No? Okay. Boom Kareem Kabam guys, this is Games Techno back with another freaking video. And in today's video guys, we're gonna talk about 5 horror games that you'll probably love. Actually, these are the games that are my favorite horror video games of all time. I just wanted to share this list so that you guys can also give them a go. I mean, if you want to, that is. If you haven't already, or yeah, you know, let's just freaking cut the chatter and kick things off. So, at number 5, I've got Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares is the story of Six, a little girl dumped into nightmarish circumstances. Well, the vibe's simple controls, passionately crafted gameplay sections, and awesome soundtrack are the major things that define what Little Nightmare is. Personally, though, the thing I adore the most about this game is the visual design of the characters. It just gives me the vibes. Let's move on to our number 4th pick, that is Devotion. Now, Devotion is the story of a family, the past, present, and how things go to the point where they're at, or something along those lines. I mean, I know the story, but yeah, let me just freaking explain. I mean, like, this is a game whose plot is something that I don't want to share, even a tiny bit, that is. Because experiencing the story through the gameplay, or in the way that the developers meant or intended it to be, is just the absolute best way to experience it. I mean, in most of the games, that is the case, so you should not spoil the plot and everything, but it's a major thing in this one. So the game is one of the most terrifying games that I've ever experienced in my entire freaking life. Let's just go to the number 3 pick. So the number 3 pick I've got for you guys is, you probably know about it, Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil is a video game series that I personally love from the very core of my heart. Resident Evil 7 follows the story of Ethan and Mia Winters, who are stuck in a residence filled with evil people. Things like inventory management, variety of weapons, terrifying boss fights, creepy girl appearing out of nowhere, and old grandma moving around the house on her own like she's got no chill are some of the selling points of this masterpiece. Now, the thing I adore the most, though, is the uncertainty. During the first half or more of the game, you pretty much got no clue about what is up. At least if you don't read each and every note provided by the game, that is. Which for me made the game even more of a horrifying experience, as in my opinion, when you understand something completely in a horror game or movie, whatever that is, the horror is somewhat diminished to a large extent. I mean, that's the case for me at least, and I think it's the case for the majority. Let's move on to my number 2 pick. This is the game that I absolutely love. I'm excited about it. Okay, so it's Dying Light. Yeah, I mean, if you know about this game, then you're like, this isn't a horror game. Yes, it is. Okay, let me tell you about Dying Light. Dying Light. Oh, Dying Light. I'm such a big fanboy of this game that I cannot appreciate this game enough. I mean, you might argue that that's why I've included this game on the list, but that's not the case, trust me. Dying Light is the story of the dying light in human beings as the GR. Okay, no. Well, let us not spoil the story. And also, Dying Light is the story of dying light, as in the daylight vanishing and nights kicking in to scare the absolute heck out of you. Now, Dying Light has the least amount of horror among all of my favorite horror games. That is the list that I'm talking about. So this contains the least amount of horror, but The parkour, the music, the funky abilities in the skill tree, a fairly large open world playground. I mean, all of these freaking things make my heart beat at its loudest for this game. Don't get me wrong though, the game has a terrifying nighttime setting with some overpowered sons of bitches infesting the streets of Haran. Haran, the city where the story takes place in the game. And finally, the thing I adore the most about this masterpiece of a game is the vibe of the game. The music blended with the atmosphere, aesthetic, and setting of the game fills me with a sense of peace, I don't know why, and immersion like no other game does. And it's technically a horror game. That's why it's on the list. I mean, I swear it would have been on number one if it had a little more horror. Here we go to the number one pick. That is Resident Evil. Yeah, another entry from the Resident Evil franchise, and it's not Resident Evil 1, it's a Resident Evil 4. This game holds a very special place in my heart for being the very first horror video game that I ever freaking played. And no, it's not the reason behind this game being on the number one position on my all-time favorite horror video games. So yeah, hold your freaking horses. The tension, dread, and the fear of not knowing shit makes this game that much more scarier. Actually, at the time of playing this game for the very first time, I was like 12 years old or something. I did not understand English that well. Shouldn't be a big surprise as English is not my native language, so I was only like 12 years old back then. So, at the time of my very first playthrough of this game, all that scared me were the ambient noises of the air, gibberish yet creepy voiceovers of the zombies. I mean, you know that, don't you? Like, I don't know what the heck do they say, or like even if it makes any sense. That's not English, I'm 100% certain right now. And the fear of a bunch of weird and super creepy looking people chasing your ass down until freaking you are dead screen appears on your freaking monitor. To this day, this game does not fail to get my heart racing at the top freaking speed. I mean, it's just like that. Resident Evil 4 is unarguably my favorite horror video game to this date, and this was the list of the video games that you will probably freaking love because they're the greatest of all time for me personally. I mean, you just might not connect. That could be a case. Well, that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Now, to my dear subscribers and viewers, I know this is a very, very different video from what I've been posting on this channel for like the last 3 months or more now. So I was like, it was like all Apex Legends content. Now, I just want to be clear. I just want to focus on quality over quantity from now on. So that's the thing that I'm setting up for myself right now. So yeah, there's that. And no, I'm not giving up on Apex Legends content or anything. Just trust me. That's all. I mean, bye bye.